a very impromptu video down in my basement, and I'm going to do something specific, but I thought I'd kind of show you around. You've seen this room a little bit. This is kind of my gear room. It's a mess. Here's my climbing harness. Leaves and I just went on that waterfall rappel, so that's drying out. It's actually dried out now. And here's 200 meters of rope. And when you get these wet, they really need to be dried out. So I always bring it back and make sure that it's dried out well. So should be about ready to be put away. And of course, I got some sleeping bags over here. Want to make sure those are stored right. It's not good to store those actually in the stuff sacks. Most of you guys probably know that. But it's best to lay them out flat for storage. Of course, got some maps. That's kind of fun. Check that out. I made that in 9th grade shop, I think. And of course, my good old dartboard, electronic dartboard. That's kind of fun. And I took the hammock down because I'm doing the using the other end to dry some of my gear. But the real reason I'm doing this is because I got a new toy today. Let me set this down here, and I'll show you what I got going. Got the Ontario Rat 7. Check that out. I'm very excited to use this knife. I just got it in the mail today, so I haven't taken it out and actually used it yet, but I do have some stuff here to play with it. And yeah, so I'm really excited. One thing I'd like to do is put a little more of a edge on the blade itself. So we're going to experiment and see what happens. This isn't a review of it or anything. It's just kind of my excitement saying, hey, look at this. I really, really like the size. It's kind of a nice middle size to a big knife, as opposed to a smaller knife, say a 4-inch blade or the RTAC 2. It's kind of a middle ground to some degree. Well, that's kind of fun. I'll check this out. Told you this is a really impromptu vid. This is my tripod. This is the one I shot. I actually sawed off the leg because it finally broke. It's this one here. Duct taped it, and then I stripped as much as I could off this tripod that I didn't need or wasn't using to lighten it up. I even cut part of the bottom off right here. Anyway, it's still alive and kicking, so I'm trying to get the most out of my gear as I possibly can. Been doing some other playing around. I've been having fun with this. You know what, this is really going to be an impromptu video. I have no idea, no plans on this one. Normally I try to plan something out, at least to some degree. Here's the Gatco sharpener. I really don't like this, the way it was designed. I've never got used to it. It's never really worked well for me, so I don't use that at all. What I end up doing is just kind of freehanding it. Just like you see like that. And again, I've talked about how I'm a little bit sharpening challenge, so I did go with the Spyderco Sharp Maker, and I love this thing. I really do. The one thing that I don't have with it yet, I believe you can get them, but I don't have any real coarse stones for it. But with the Gatco that I have, I do have some coarse stones. So, in order to try my knowledge here, or to increase my experience, I'm going to attempt to do a little bit different angle on this edge. I want it to come back just a little bit more. And again, guys, this is more just me learning. I'm not trying to teach anything. More just kind of have fun, make a video, and learn as I go. I can tell you though that if I mess this up, I have confidence that I can get the blade back to where I want it with the Spyderco Sharp Maker. So I'm not terribly worried about it. And if you don't ever try, you won't ever learn. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, I do vids like this from time to time. I wouldn't say I do them a lot, but every once in a while I'll do these kind of videos. But when I go to edit them and I just watch them, I don't really like them. So, at least some of them anyway. So I haven't ended up posting them. Like this one, no idea if I'll post it. I'll get into editing and then take a look and, I don't know, see if it's worth posting. But the reason I got the 7-inch blade, the Ontario Rat 7, is I wanted that medium-sized blade. You guys have seen a little bit. I've used the SERC4, great blade, and the RTAC 2, great blade. But I also wanted to have something kind of in between those two sizes, and this is what I went with. So you guys have seen the sheath. I won't show you that now, but it could be a better sheath. In fact, I'm going to get a Kydex sheath for this one way or another. I've been talking to Campfire Talk actually, and we're trying to devise a way to make a sheath. So wow, it just soaks up the oil on that. So we'll see what happens with this. I did make this to help me a little bit. Very cheap thing here, but alright, there's the Gatco system using some of those coarser stones. Now we are going to try the sharp maker. Now again, guys, this is just me experimenting more than anything. I'm just trying to pull that edge back a little bit, and I'm just doing baby steps. Just baby steps. So we'll see what happens. You know, maybe I can... This is going to be such a impromptu video, like I keep saying. Maybe give you even a whole different angle with this sharp maker here. Sometimes I find if I stand up, I get a better angle. So now we'll put it back through this process. And I still really whoop. There goes my tripod. I still really like the sharp maker. Really like it. In fact, the more I use it, the more I like it. I have found that I do have some limitations in using, let's say, the RTAC 2 size of blade in it. Now, I'm not that good yet with getting that big of a blade managed in this system. But I tell you, I have not regretted this sharp maker at all, especially for my EDC knives. That alone has been well worth the cost of this thing. And per suggestions out there, what I was doing before, I was taking this and I was running the tip off the edges like that, and what some of the comments were is that will actually round your tip. So instead, what I'm trying to do now is stop before that tip runs off the rod to avoid rounding that tip. So thanks guys for that comment, that's a good one. Oops. But every once in a while I'll still do it. I can get this out of there, that's distracting. Now, the one thing I can say about the Rat 7 is the edge came very sharp, but not quite as sharp as I want it to start out as. So, I'm getting a little adventurous for my skills, and I'm trying to get an edge back on there where I want it to be. And like I said earlier, you never know until you try. And you're never going to learn anything unless you try. And you learn a lot when you're successful, and
You could argue you probably learn more when you're not successful. Now this isn't the thickest of blades out there for, let's say, batoning. But really what I was after is kind of a happy medium between thickness, length, weight. And this is what I went for. And I also thought it would be fun to try my hand at kind of a custom sheath, be it made from a buddy, made by myself, or something. I've used a blade this size in the past, just a little bit. It's a really cheapy one I bought in high school. I took it out just to use it to see if I like the size, and I really like this size of blade, the 7-inch. So very excited to get out and play with this thing. Hopefully I will have some time soon. It's springtime, so of course the boys are in soccer. What are their names? What are their YouTube names? Hawk and Trout. I didn't forget my boys' names, I just forgot their YouTube names. So we've been doing a lot of soccer on Saturdays, and been putting in the yard too, so that's taken some time. And then of course, with my quote-unquote milk delivery career, delivering milk can get pretty busy and can keep you busy. I really don't deliver milk, but that's what we're going to call it. I can feel it getting to where I want it to. Not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Yeah, isn't that fun? You know, for me, this is really cool too. I like this look of the blade. You know, the RTAC 2, the Rat 7, and you know the SEs are good looking knives. I really like this style. For me, it's something that's really cool looking. There's some other knives that a lot of people like. For me, aesthetically, it just doesn't do it for me. However, in picking up those knives, the Ontario SP, one of those, that was, I really don't like the looks of those knives, but once I picked one up and started handling it, I really liked the way it handled, and therefore the looks have actually started to grow on me, because a lot of times I think it's function over looks. Not in all cases. It's cool when you can have the best of both worlds. Like I said, this is just a very impromptu video, and I'm just kind of jabbering on with whatever comes to mind as I'm sharpening the Rat 7, getting it ready to go out and play. And a lot of this is experimentation for me as well. There you have it, just a very impromptu video. Ontario Rat 7. Feels good in hand so far. I like it. I like the way it's balanced. And again, this style of knife, the way it looks with the micarta handles, the black blade, I just really like the way it looks. So just thought I'd kind of show it off a little bit, show you my new knife, and hopefully I'll be able to get out and use it here very soon up in the mountains doing whatever it is that we do in the mountains, huh? So anyway guys, like I said, impromptu video, Ontario Rat 7. I'm looking forward to using it.